Welcome, and thank you for joining the Live in Divine Harmony podcast. I'm Karmen, your divine synergist of Heart's Joy. I'm an awakened person of purpose. I have a passion for life. I'm a speaker, author, podcast host, and a numerologist. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for notifications so you never miss another episode. Let's dive in. So here we are. We're in week 9 of 2024. Anyone else feel like we're already 6 months into the year? Just me? It feels like we're already 6 months into 2024. And I'm also within 52 days of my birthday. In fact, I think I'm 8 days away from my birthday, 7 days away from my birthday. And in numerology, we talk how, personal years go birthday to birthday, and you're shifting energies around that 52-day time frame because you're shifting from one personal year to the next. And so for me, January and February has always felt a little off, and I never quite understood why until I learned numerology several years ago. And then I started to understand, oh, this is why things feel off in those months for me. It's not that I have a seasonal affective disorder or that I'm really sad, or even that I'm depressed, because that's how I would feel a lot of times. It was recognizing that I was being called to wrap up one energy as I was moving into the next energy. And I personally love to celebrate birthdays throughout the entire month. Now, last year on my birthday, I ended up skipping town and I went on a birthday trip, which I'm doing again this year, except I'm taking the trip a little bit later than on my birthday. And, it's time to create multiple celebrations throughout the month of March. And I always love birthdays because it's a time to celebrate you. It's a time where you get to celebrate your accomplishments for the last 12 months and set goals and intentions of what it is that you want to accomplish and experience, frankly, the next 12 months. So for me, yes, we had the new year, right? What I call the man made new year, New Year's Eve in January. And we just had the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year. And then for me, I have another New Year as well. And of course, there's always spring too, which we will talk about in March on the podcast. And yes, I am wrapping up a 4 energy year, getting ready to shift into a 5 energy year. And in numerology, a 5 energy year for the personal year is expect the unexpected. It is change and travel. And I have already experienced a lot of changes. And that is what led me to record this podcast episode is change is always the constant in our life. Yet I have to laugh because for a lot of us, depending on, I think, what it is, change can feel really difficult for us. We have a very difficult time because we're very comfortable with what we're doing. We have a routine. Our mind knows what to expect. And, our mind likes to keep us safe. And so when things unexpectedly happen, our mind is like, oh, shnikes, what do I do next? What is going on? Is it safe to continue? And so it's kind of like I know and I don't know what I'm quote unquote in for or what I get to experience when my birthday comes because I'm already feeling that energy. I'm already feeling that shift. And I started to ask myself a few days ago, how are you handling this change? How are you handling and navigating through these changes? Because the changes have already started to occur. And it's like, okay, it's a different perspective. For me right now, it's truly a new way of looking at things. And it's a new way of doing things and being intentional about the new way to do things, the new way to show up. A great example is I'm working on organizing myself totally differently. So, getting back to a written planner for my to do list, for my projects, instead of just dumping it all into my phone, because the phone is so accessible. It's easy, and everything gets really cluttered, and then I can't find it. And energetically, it's all on my calendar. My to-do list ends up all on my calendar instead of on paper. And I feel like it's bogging me down. And so it's okay, now here's the new method that I've come up with, because it's just a mechanism is all it is. A method, a mechanism on how I'm going to make sure that things get done on my to-do list for personal and for the business. And then it's really creating those habits, which is keeping one small promise to yourself every single day. And this is what I'm going to do. And we have a vision of what it could potentially look like, and that's going to change as well. And so I keep reminding myself to okay, just be present, and that is where you get to let go and allow, is that being present. And of course, having full appreciation and gratitude for, I don't even want to say the process, it's just for that present moment of what I'm experiencing. And it's okay not to know what the next step is going to look like. For me, being intentional is where it's at. What do I mean by that? If I just wake up one day and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go with the flow today, and, whatever happens, happens, I don't get anything done. Literally nothing. It's a lot of nothing that I end up doing. Versus I have a whole routine in the morning with journaling and meditation and prayer. And the journaling is where I get focused on, what is this going to look like? What is today going to look like? How do I want to feel? What am I going to accomplish? I'd rather say 3 things and get 5 things done. And so then that shifts, and I have told the universe, this is what I'm going to have happen. And I go make it happen. I go do it. And then at night, I look back and say, yeah, I did, and checked marked off the items that I was able to accomplish and finish that day. And I definitely have noticed the difference. Several years ago is when I noticed the difference, between me just kind of going with the flow. Now, I still go with the flow, right? I've been on calls today that I didn't expect to have happen, and that's okay. And, I'm still able to get back on track because I know what I want to experience today. I know what I want to accomplish today, and what it's going to take for me to have that happen. And a big piece of that in the background is being present with where I am now, recording a podcast episode for you, and being present in every moment with whoever I'm with in whatever situation I'm in. And for me, that's how I'm handling this change coming up, because I do have, you know, decisions that I've made, and I have no idea how it's going to happen. And I have no idea what it's going to look like. And I've said yes. And it's going to be fun, and it's going to be exciting, because it's something new and different that I've not done before. And, it's also one of those that I know that it's temporary, because that's the agreement that we've made, is that it's temporary for however many weeks or months. And then it also opens up my energy field, and it also opens up my bandwidth, if you will, my time, to really focus on the things that matter to me, and to really focus on my purpose every single day. It's interesting how we energetically get drained, and at the end of the day, sometimes at the end of the week or end of the month, and we're not even sure how we got here. And it's because there's no intention. It's because you haven't been present. It's because, you could be hard pressed is coming to me. That's not the word I want to use. It could be that you're struggling in some area and to really stretch yourself and to get outside your comfort zone. And it's having that acknowledgement and recognizing where you are right now in the moment and being able to shift from that. And interestingly enough, this is what I call go time right now until I believe it's the beginning of April. I'll have to look for sure as far as retrogrades go, where we are in a retrograde free world. And I think I'm feeling that energy too. And, we've had a lot of solar flares that have happened. And I know that eclipse season is coming up as well, the preparation for eclipse season, because, the eclipse is going to happen in April, but the energies, the lead up energy is happening in March. That's really where the work is. It's letting go of what's no longer serving you now during that incoming phase, if you will, the pre-shadow phase leading up to the actual eclipse. Eclipse is, I believe, April 8th. So when you have this wider understanding, viewpoint, vantage point, it really helps you to harness and work with these energies and to navigate your everyday life. And really ask yourself, how do you in particular handle change? And, I've heard some people say they embrace change, they love it, and yet they really struggle when certain things happen. And so, my invitation for you this week is start to acknowledge how it is that you handle change. And if there's something that comes up for you and you're like, you know what, I could do this differently. I maybe am not showing gratitude in the times of change. I get frustrated. I get angry. Ask yourself, what's one or two ways of being that you want to show up and do that and see what shifts for you. Because as you shift, so does everyone else. As you heal, things, people, places, things, situations will shift in your everyday life. Everything is energy frequency. And remember, back at the end of September, I had mentioned Leanna Shanti said that we were going to see a shift in consciousness. We were going to see some people go to lower timelines and another set of people go to higher timelines. And so, if you're not sure which timeline you're in, which frequency you're in, start to notice that around you. If you're focused on and maybe caught up in the truther world, or, oh my gosh, China's doing this XYZ to us. And if you got victimized by the AT&T outage, notice where you are. In fact, I shared that with a friend the other day and I said, I have AT&T and I was not impacted at all. It's what frequency literally are you at? That is what you will experience. And I almost feel like, to a degree, sometimes when we're in a higher frequency, we experience greater change because there's a lot more expectation of us. And frankly, the darkness doesn't want to see us succeed. And so a lot of times things will come after us because we're in that higher, we are light and we are in a higher timeline, a higher frequency. So as always, I would love to hear from you. Where are you? What would you like support with right now? You can join us in the Creating a Life You Love community. It's a free community on Mighty Networks called hearts-joy.mn for mightynetworks.co. And share with us where you're from, what change you may be going through at this particular time. And let's lift you up in that group. Because after all, that's what it's all about. Until next time, sending you much love.